Welcome to 4C Radio. We are broadcasting from the central campus of Christ University, Bengaluru. 4C Radio is brought to you by the Department of Media Studies, Christ University. For all those who are looking for a platform that focuses on communities, commons, climate, and communication, this is the place to be. What's more, this station is run by a diverse community of students and dedicated faculty members. Tune in to experience hard hitting interviews, fact checks and myth busting, on ground stories, campus news, and more. In this episode, student journalist Shinjini talks to Varnika Singh about her first time experiencing a blizzard in New York City, highlighting the impact of climate change.
On February 22nd and 23rd, 2026, a powerful winter storm swept across the northeastern United States, bringing heavy snowfall, strong winds, and near whiteout conditions to New York City and surrounding regions. Transportation systems were disrupted, flights were cancelled, and the state authorities imposed travel restrictions as millions of residents grappled with one of the most significant winter storms of the season. To understand what it was like on the ground, I'm joined by Varnika, who was in New York City as the blizzard unfolded. Varnika, thank you for joining us. Can you take us back to those 2 days? What was your first impression when you arrived in New York?
Thank you, Shinjini. So those 2 days, I remember very clearly that all I could see was white snow covering everywhere. So when I woke up in the morning at around 4 a.m., because that is when it was said that the blizzard is gonna start, like the snowing condition is gonna start. Nothing much was really happening. It was just dark, and I could see the Empire State Building from the window. And then eventually, like as 6 a.m. rolled in, 7 a.m. rolled in, it was just being covered with white, heavy rain and snow as well at that point. And eventually, like by the time 12 p.m. rolled in, all there was just white. And I remember asking my brother that if I can go down and play. And he goes, right now, the snow is not sticking to the ground, so you can't go down to play, but we'll go at around 6 when I'm done with my work. And it was just, for me, it was really fun because I like snow, but I also understand that there were implications of this particular event to other people as well and to my family as well. So, yeah.
Okay, so of course, this was a major weather event, and many people were following the storm. They heard about the rapidly changing forecasts. So, what was really happening on the ground as those weather predictions were evolving?
So, what was happening on the ground was that Mayor Mamdani announced that when the snow sticks to the ground, he increased the minimum wage rate of the people who would be helping in clearing the streets very properly. Because last time, I think around 2 or 3 weeks ago, when the storm was hit, and this was not a blizzard condition through 2 or 3 weeks ago when New York was hit by snow again, there were issues on ground. But this time, because the mayor wanted to get hold of the situation and he knew that what is going to happen because the weather was changing very rapidly, he increased the wage rate of the people who were working on ground. And second thing that he did was he put a travel advisory as well, and it was just supposed to be essential traveling allowed for that time, and you could not use major highways because they were closed because of the slippery ground as well. But constantly the snow plows were being done and the salt was being put around in this road so that the snow does not stick on the road and vehicles can move.
And as I understand that you were like at that point of time traveling through the United States, you had other plans. So how did this approaching blizzard affect your own plans?
So before the blizzard was actually announced, it was just a storm. And I was supposed to be in Washington, D.C. for like 4 or 5 days. And I left New York City on 19th February, if I'm not wrong. So the basic idea was to celebrate my brother's birthday then. But then on 20th February, the conditions started to get worsen because from storm, the authorities started calling it a blizzard. And when the warning for blizzard came, we realized that we need to get back to New York City before conditions worsen, and we could, like, the visibility goes low when snow is happening in the blizzard condition. And because we knew there's a travel advisory as well, we had to leave Washington DC on 21st morning, because that was what was sensible. And throughout the highway, I remember mostly you would see advertisements, but during that time, wherever you would see, there's every 10 to 15 meters there was a warning that said, be careful, there's a storm coming, there's a blizzard that is going to happen. Initially, like I said, it was a storm, but eventually it became a blizzard. And the road signs clearly said travel advisory, and which was actually scary because I have never seen blizzard in my entire life, and I was scared driving through the roads and the highways.
And I imagine in this atmosphere, of course, travel was heavily restricted, as you mentioned. So then it must have become more challenging for people working in essential services.
Yeah, definitely. And now this I can speak from my personal experience as well, because my friend was supposed to work in on Tuesday morning, and she works as a nurse, and her hospital is 45 minutes away from our house. And she, because there was a travel advisory, and this advisory was so serious, that's why I'm emphasizing on it, uh, because this was there and the condition was worsening, she had to leave home on Sunday just so that she can work on Tuesday and she can be safe inside the hospital. So she slept in the hospital as well for a couple of days, took care of the patients. And I asked her when she came back home on Wednesday night that how was the condition during this time? Were there patients that were coming in the hospital? She said that there were there were patients because of the emergency services, but still it was very scary to be inside the hospital and working throughout the time. And I actually realized that it working in a service sector, it's very scary during blizzard condition or when the weather worsens. So yeah, I mean, it was scary, to be very honest.
So, as a visitor, if your feelings about this entire experience were so intense, what do you think the atmosphere was like in New York City and the residents while the blizzard was at its height?
So New York City, when you look at the videos, and that's how most of us know New York City as well, that it is always hustling and people are always rushing, and so many tourists. But during the blizzard, the tourism was at its all-time low. People were not fighting to get into places. The trains were running. I think very less trains were running that day, and most of them were empty. And I saw it on TikTok as well at that during that time, because I was very curious about how things are happening, and I saw people coming up with creative solution to surpass the snow, and most of them were actually working on the ground to remove the snow from their lawn, putting salts in. And I remember seeing one of the tourists just jumping over the snow just so that they can make a snow angel, which was very funny for me. But New Yorkers always find a way to get through, and also tourists, you can't stop them because they have booked their tickets. But it did actually ruin most of the plans that they wanted to do, like walk around Central Park. That would have been difficult during blizzard.
Yeah, and like as you said, like New Yorkers certainly have some amount of resilience from what we see portrayed in popular media. But and like of course, blizzards are not new to the northeastern United States. So what is it that made this storm particularly significant?
I think the eventuality of the condition that got worsened over the time was what highlighted this particular issue a little bit more than rest of the storms that were there, because the last blizzard that New York City had was around 1919 something. I might be wrong about, but it was been a while since New York saw blizzard. And also what highlighted this particular issue was whatever authorities were doing to take care of the situation, because this was a sudden blizzard that happened. It wasn't showing on the weather apps for weeks until the very last minute when it actually turned into a blizzard. And the snow that was accumulated was so deep, Shinjini, that if you would put your foot inside, you wouldn't see it. It was like a pillow. I think the conditions and the snow, the amount of snow that fell was something that was very alarming for most of the people, especially the ground workers there.
Speaking of alarming, whenever major weather events occur today, conversations often turn towards climate change. So, do you think that was a part of the discussion during the storm?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like I said, it wasn't showing on the weather apps for weeks until the very last minute. And most of the conditions that we're seeing now, because now recently, like around 1.5 week ago, when we saw in UP, there were so many people who were killed because of the extreme weather condition. And in Bangalore as well, when there was hailstorm, and even yesterday when it started raining all of a sudden in the summer, while most of the country is experiencing heat wave, in Bangalore we have sort of like summer, winter, rainy season. It is very alarming what we are going through as an entire nation and as a world as well, and what we are actually not doing to prevent the conditions to get worse in, because the authorities now need to, and whoever is in charge need to take action and accountability for whatever is happening and fix it somehow, because this is not a joke anymore. If the earth is warming up or if everything is going south, something needs to be done.
Definitely. And I feel like while we may look at these major weather events as one off incidents, there does seem to be a broader pattern emerging, as in what is the natural rhythm seems to be disrupted, whether it be Uttar Pradesh, whether it be Bangalore, whether it be New York City, all over the entire world. People are just simply reporting increasingly alarming cases of both weather and environmental changes that definitely need to be addressed. And perhaps that is the cautionary note that we leave our listeners with today.
Thank you so much for having me, Shinjini, to talk about my experience.
Thank you for sharing your experience, of course, and thank you to our listeners for joining us. Stay informed, stay prepared, and remember that the most important warnings are often the ones that we choose to overlook sometimes.
As we have witnessed through blizzards and hailstorms, extreme weather events are becoming more common. Their frequency and intensity have increased significantly in recent years. These changes are clear indicators of growing impact of climate change. Communities around the world are facing greater environmental and economic challenges as a result. This highlights the urgent need for a collective action to build a more sustainable and resilient future. Thank you for listening to this podcast. As always, stay curious and tune in for more. In this episode, the interview was conducted by Shinjini, hosted and edited by Guru Aditya, and illustrated by Varnika. The signature tune was composed by Dr. Anantu. Please write to us and follow us on X, Instagram, and LinkedIn.